Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability details concerning this watch. Today, we're discussing a 22-piece limited edition to be built out over several years, starting in its launch year of 2023 from Greubel Forsey of La Chaux-de-Fonds, Double Balancier Convexe. Carbon Black Edition, a watch that features two balance wheels, equal and opposite in orientation, averaged out by a 4-minute spherical differential. The combined timing evident in the position of the hands at center, twin coaxial fast barrels, 72-hour power reserve indicator, but the highlight is really this convex sports watch case, which is crafted of carbon fiber and sapphire outside, the bridges and plates of the movement in titanium, so all very light. The watch is listed on Greubel Forsey's website as 42.5, but I always dig a little bit deeper, and I measure this 44.7 from side to side, not including the crown. I also measure it 44.7 edge to edge if you measure the bezel to its opposite side, so it's almost round in its dimensions. At the four corners, it wears almost like a round lugless watch, and it is 14.7 millimeters thick. I'll throw it on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, and you can see it wears quite nicely. Very comfortable, even over the top, which exaggerates the width of a watch. You can see the edge of the case nowhere near the edge of my wrist. Down the barrel, that's really evident. And while it's not thin, it will fit underneath a jacket cuff. I could recommend this due to the lightness and the short side-to-side measurement. For a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference. Again, this is 16. This looks and feels excellent. Greubel Forsey features a proprietary strap design, so you have to use a custom-made strap or a Greubel design if you do want to accessorize here, but it's a lovely piece. Since 2021, Greubel Forsey's been eliminating animal-based straps, so this is a composite of various natural, biodegradable, non-animal products, and they are both more resistant to wear and longer lasting than the animal-based straps, so it's a win for everyone. And of course, we have a suede inner lining. They're more comfortable, they're longer lasting, more durable. You can clean them, you can soak them. There's no concern about getting this wet or using light soap and water, so it's also more renewable in the sense that you can maintain it more easily. The strap is substantial. You can see it's got a textile weave on the outside, a monotone stitch. It is bolstered substantially to give it volume. It has a folded edge, and then we've got a clasp that features a leaf spring action, titanium internals. Externally, you can see Greubel Forsey is using a carbon fiber clasp body to match the case, and you can see how the carbon weave falls within the resin, and so none of these will be exactly alike. Every component made of carbon fiber is effectively piece unique. The recesses of the edge of the buckle matching the recesses of the edge of the case. You can see the Greubel Forsey logo on the crown, an incredibly complex sapphire. And impressively, it is 50 meters water resistant, but with a push-down crown. So I'm going to be very technical in recommending the extent of the water exposure permitted for this watch. Greubel Forsey specifically cites the ISO 22281 revision 2010. And so 22281 revision 2010 will tell you exactly how much water exposure is safe. But I would recommend, as Team Mosso, that your push-down crown 50-meter watch that costs $400,000 not be submerged. Taking a look in the dark, it is a well-loomed watch. The sports watch factor here is strong, arguably easier to read with the lights out than the lights on. This is an impressive watch on a lot of different levels, ergonomically especially. Take a look at the case back. See how it's curved? It hugs the wrist. Now, the bridges and plates are blackened titanium, so that's what you're looking at right there. You're also looking at the underside of the differential mechanism. More on that in a moment. And then we have individual numbering, which I've covered up. This will be one of 22 made. You can see that there are golden chaton cups reminding us of the pocket watch manufacturing era in La Chaux-de-Fonds, where Greubel Forsey is based. And they're not necessary today, but they're beautiful and evocative. Turning it back over, take a look at the dial. We have two balances angled at 30 degrees, but angled away from each other. Balances and hairsprings equal and opposite. Notice how the The stud holder is opposite in its orientation on each side. The idea is that when gravity causes one to slow down, gravity will cause the other to speed up. By an equal and opposite margin, they'll then be averaged together by a 4-minute differential. It rotates. It's a spherical differential. It rotates once every 4 minutes, averaging out the error. The theory being, error always being equal and opposite, there should be as close to no error as possible. And because a 4-minute display isn't as useful or intuitive as a seconds dial, we do have a conventional running seconds below that. The movement is immense and beautifully decorated, the highest quality finish on earth. Others will equal with different style, like Ferdinand Berthoud, Languntaina, perhaps Aaron Beche, Philippe Dufour, but all of those names differ by style. They're all pretty much equivalent in quality. And so Greubel Forsey is in that absolute top tier. Notice that the balances, which beat away at 3 Hertz, are free sprung with overcoils. The overcoils to better deal with the effects of gravity, and the free sprung to allow very precise setting with less susceptibility to shock-induced timing deviation. 2 barrels superimposed coaxial. They're very fast barrels. 1 rotation every 3.2 hours helps to even out the torque curve of the force emitted by the barrels. A very flat torque curve is desirable for isochronous operation. We have a little power reserve indicator hiding in the corner here. And then the watch, again, beaten at 21,600 vibrations per hour. This 50 joule movement, enormous, 37.7 millimeters in diameter. The movement by itself is bigger than a Datejust. A deeply impressive movement that is as impressive for its depth and detail as for its actual finishing. Take a look at the architecture of the differential housing bridge. Look at the bridge for the hands. All of this is just an example of art in motion, engineering and art made one. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.